Bitcoin bulls 2% away from defying the bears. In this short Bitcoin price update, I want to talk about the next Bitcoin move that needs to happen for Bitcoin to break out of long-term resistance. What is up, everyone? Thanks for coming by. Hit that subscribe on your way in, and let's jump into this video, this Bitcoin update, long-term Bitcoin resistance. It's where we are. It might not feel like it. We've had a few weeks, Bitcoin to the upside looking good. Obviously, since that March swing low, Bitcoin really looking good, but we are at this long-term resistance area. There is some risk involved in terms of Bitcoin in this short to midterm, because right now, that previous swing high, that lower high in this long-term symmetrical triangle going all the way back to this bull market, we have not broken that yet, right? That's a resistance area we talked about in the last Bitcoin video. There are some other resistance areas for Bitcoin, namely the bull market high to the bear market swing low. There's a Fibonacci retracement right up here into that $13,000, $16,000 area. That's a resistance area. But we really have to break this previous swing high. And the long-term resistance that I'm referring to, if we go over here on the daily chart, we can really get an idea of it. It stems from Fibonacci retracement, and it really is just the perfect illustration of Bitcoin falling into lower highs. And that's really the one long-term risk that Bitcoin has right now. Is this a lower high for Bitcoin? Obviously, we've broken above this trend line, this long trend line, extremely bullish. How will this weekly candle close? If we go back to this weekly candle, we want to close above that trend line. Time will tell. We're getting very close to finding out. But at the end of the day, we have not broken that swing high back in summer 2019. And Bitcoin really needs to break that. So the Fibonacci retracement that we're looking at is the same one that we had in this swing high last summer. So that's the bull market high. We're talking 2017 to the bear market low. It comes back up perfectly to our Fibonacci retracement channel, right? The 786 to 618, and we see resistance and we go down, right? And that's just, it happens so often on short-term, long-term charts, whatever. Now we can do the same thing from that previous swing high back in last summer to the March swing low that Bitcoin had. And we can see right now, Bitcoin is literally testing the 786 line and seeing resistance there on this Fibonacci retracement. This is the biggest concern, technically, I think, for Bitcoin right now, is Bitcoin putting in a lower high in this long-term downtrend. If it happens, and I'm not trying to be bearish, you always have to consider every single possibility, even the bearish ones. Even if it's a short, midterm bearish scenario, Bitcoin seeing resistance here, putting in a lower high long-term, coming back into this triangle. Don't know what that might look like. Could be going into fall, down here, testing 7,000s, testing the lower trend line down here in the 6,000s. I'm not saying I think that's going to happen. However, it's in play, everyone. And if you don't consider these possibilities, you're not going to be as successful in terms of accumulating and having just a general plan in the cryptocurrency space. So what are we looking at, though, when we're really talking about the short term? What's Bitcoin doing? What kind of upside do we potentially have for Bitcoin to not do that, right? We don't want to see Bitcoin fall back in. So here we go. I mentioned we're 2% away from Bitcoin really breaking through. And the reason I said that is because if we go back to that daily chart real quick and I go to that swing high to that swing low of Bitcoin, let me do this, let me chart this, let me zoom in a little bit. You can see currently that resistance is right in that $11,865, let's just call it $11,900 range. And that is around 2% away from where Bitcoin is trading right now. I mean, we are there. We are like hour by hour, anything can happen here. So from where Bitcoin is to, let's say 11,900, we go up and we see we're right around not even 2% away. Now, interestingly enough, on the short term, the other day or last week, I guess, Bitcoin just had that crazy dip to 10,500. We talked about, as it was happening actually, let's see what structure Bitcoin forms after this, right? What kind of pattern will develop? Would it be a symmetrical triangle? I think I said. I mentioned, could it be a falling wedge? The one thing I didn't mention is a potential ascending triangle, which we have on the screen right now with a breakout target to 13,300 or so. So we're really at the apex of this ascending triangle. It's probably on the short term, the biggest thing I'm watching. Wanted to show it to you. Now, on the flip side, Bitcoin could come back down to this 10,400 area, right? And if we remember, that is the neckline of this longer term inverse head and shoulders that we've been tracking right here. And that is around 10,500. So Bitcoin could retrace to that neckline. It doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin's going to fall all the way down and through to the bottom of this long-term symmetrical triangle, but we could be consolidating to that neckline if Bitcoin on the short term makes a bearish break through the lower trend line here. But I think we're very close, hours away potentially from Bitcoin making its move out of the symmetrical triangle. The question, or not symmetrical triangle, ascending triangle. The question is, which direction will Bitcoin break? Much of the market very, very bullish. Even here, it's a strong buy listed on tradingview.com for Bitcoin. Let's see what it does. I just wanted to give a Saturday update for you all. I hope you're having an amazing day, an amazing weekend. If you're here and you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, hit the like on your way out. It means a lot. Have an awesome weekend, and God bless.